In fact, each human being must prove to himself that his spirit works in a creative manner, and that he must find his perfection within himself, to ensure perfection in creation itself. For those who have gained this knowledge, there will grow an inescapable obligation to put their own material life in the background, and to guide their spiritual existence toward creation's monumental viewpoints, which contain an endless continuity in their constant transformation. The Arhat Author Sadhu explains further that it is important that we recall the creative root of our being in order to unite through true spiritual introspection with all that which is within ourselves, which is of the all-great time. But this doesn't mean that we neglect our physical existence. It says we should direct our vision unwaveringly towards the tasks of our life on earth, with the knowledge that the realm of coarse matter rules in this plane and the realm of fine matter in the beyond. Nevertheless, these two divided spheres of the here and the beyond are one single realm, existing in the same place, in the same time-space, only in another dimension. All these teachings stress the importance of contemplation, so that we come to appreciate the expressions of creation all around us and within us. In O.M. the Prophet says the following: "Truly some weak mortals yearn after extraordinary things and expect a sign from heaven. Yet look, you short-sighted ones. Why do you seek signs from heaven when only that which your hand touches and that your eyes see is wonderful?" In a later canon the Prophet says this: "Human of the earth, how can you only be in low spirits if, in the wonderful shine of a spring morning, the far landscape with all its radiating flowers and blooms, and with their forests, lakes, rivers and mountains, swims around you like a fantastic, creational dream?" Semyes, the daughter of the Ishwishpratha, is quoted in O.M. with further spiritual teachings. Semyes explains that this self, which is the life of the life, existing for eternity, can indeed not be proven materially. It is of a pure spiritual form and nature, yet a rational being requires no proof, because the spirit itself is its own proof. The human has to fight his own stupidity and acknowledge that the material intellect constitutes no human, if he does not also cooperate in the same measure with spiritual intellect. She says, the human learns of his spirit only through meditation, and knows it through inner contemplation, through deep sinking in the stillest chambers of the spiritual self, and meanwhile he takes the direct view in the mirror of the inner life. In the O.M. we are also taught how prayer is a good way of connecting with the spirit of creation within us. Creation doesn't demand or require our prayers, but we can come to know it this way. O.M. says millions of people believe in prayer but see no success from their prayers. Either they request the fulfillment of wishes that are not fulfillable, or they believe with the apparent prayer that they have already given over their entire obligation to creation. However, they are believers and are not knowing. Thereby they believe and do not know, and execute their prayers accordingly. According to our free will we can carry out addresses, prayer and worship to creation, which brings us into communication with the fragment of creation spirit within ourselves, which, through this kind of prayer, would be addressed and formed in an inspired way, and in true knowledge, love, wisdom, and truth. Prayer is directed to the power of creation, or to the fragment of spirit in the human, or to the material consciousness and the material unconsciousness, so that it stimulates active powers in us and brings them to effect. Whether a prayer is directed to the creation, or to the material consciousness form itself, the fragment of creation spirit in the human would be addressed and stimulated, and the prayer would be effective through the good hope and the knowledge of the human that the spirit, through its power, truthfully imparts help. O.M. contains further teachings about prayer, including that it should not be self-seeking or hypocritical, but honest. The prophets tell us that the creation spirit does not require many words. But to pray successfully we require the knowledge that the spirit is powerful and great and infinite in its power, through which the human may truly transfer mountains from one place to another place. We should execute our prayers as knowing and righteous ones, and so we should pray logically in our own prayers or in prayers of general value. A prayer reminiscent of what we have come to know as the Lord's Prayer is presented in OM as a guide for how to pray. A slightly shorter version with subtle differences also exists in the Talmud Manual, as delivered by the Prophet Manual. I provide the Talmud Manual version below, which is accompanied by an official English translation. From Talmud Manual, Chapter 6, Alms, Fasting, Treasures, Concerns, verses 11-18. Therefore pray as one who knows. Thus you should pray as follows: My spirit, you exist within omnipotence. May your name be holy. May your kingdom incarnate itself within me. May your power unfold itself within me, on earth and in the heavens. Give me today my daily bread, that I may recognize my wrongdoings and the truth. And lead me not into temptation and confusion, but deliver me from error. For yours is the kingdom within me and the power and the knowledge forever. Amen. The prophet teaches that there is great comfort in creation and in following the creational laws. One of the thousands of proverbs of wisdom from OM says, Human, honor the creation. Therewith you will be fearless within, because alone the honor of the creation makes you free from human fear. And in Canon 34 we have the following familiar sounding verse. Creation is my companion, and I would not want. Creation nourishes me on its green pastures and leads me to fresh water. Creation refreshes my psyche and it leads me on the right road, in its name. Also, if I wander in the dark valley, I fear no misfortune, because you, creation, are by me. Your stick and staff comfort me. Through creation, goodness and mercy follow me all my life, and I would remain in the house of creation always. Edward Myers' elderly extraterrestrial teacher Sfath told him the following in 1945. You would produce an inexhaustible source of knowledge, wisdom, love, freedom, peace and harmony, a source from which all people of all races and every belief, every skin color and every standing can be refreshed. And what your desire is, what you will bring to the people, is unity, peace, agreement, knowledge, wisdom, love, freedom and harmony in deeper truth, and in cognition that in the entire creational realm, in the entire universe, everything is one and bound together. This oneness and unity with all and everything is the result of the power and the immeasurable love of the creation, which gives to all selflessly and therefore it demands no payment. Edward, your mission would be to wake the human of the earth out of his sleep of untruth and ignorance. You must teach the human that they themselves must stand ready for the revolution of the truth, as well as for the fact of their fulfillment of the obligation regarding the creation and its laws and directives. The adherence to this obligation fulfillment also comes like a revolution, because only if you would fulfill this obligation consciously,